Which brings me to the best life lesson I've ever been taught by a sailor. I met the sailor and we spent the whole night drinking. He taught me about dirty something. I forgot the name of the whiskey, of the cocktail, but it's whiskey and ginger ale.
Okay.
We spent the whole night drinking whiskey and ginger ale. It's one of my favorite cocktails nowadays. But apart from that, teaching me that recipe, he also taught me life is a series of letting goes. And I remember then changing something in me, and I find myself reminding myself this quite often, that in life, what we're doing every day is letting go. Sometimes it's letting go of people who don't serve us anymore, people who are toxic nowadays,
Yeah.
Maybe workplace that is not giving me what I need. Myself, my old self, letting go of my old self, letting go of coping strategies that are not healthy anymore. But when we think of this, it makes transitioning much easier. And it's about being present, but at the same time being detached from what you don't need.
I think it's about thinking that, or embracing the fact that things are finite.
Yes.
And you savor the moment that you spend.
Yes.
So, for example, the relationship with my mother is finite. Someday I will be gone, or she will be gone, or
Or the relationship will be gone.
yes, everything is finite. So we become. That's a very, very good lesson for me as well, because you start to appreciate. And it reminds me of something. I think it's a famous physicist.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the name. Degrassi.
Mm-hmm.
He's a famous physicist, and he said that you know why dogs are so happy? Because every day of their life is a week of our lives. So if a day of their life is a week of our lives, they'd rather spend it well. They'd rather be happy, because one day of their life is worth 1 week of our life. So why can't we adopt the dog philosophy in that sense and be happy? Because life is short. So for some of us, it's shorter, and then not everyone's life is the same.
But then we're being told all the time
Yeah.
to accumulate, accumulate wealth, accumulate likes on Facebook,
Yeah.
accumulate friendships, accumulate follows.
That's
So
rat
there's
race.
that struggle,
That's the
between
rat
what
race.
we're being told
Yeah.
that it's important to accumulate, Nowadays I go in schools and kids, because 13-year-olds are kids,
Yeah.
when asked the question, what do you want to be when you're older? And it's not one or two, in every school. Say a millionaire. And for me, that is that is very worrying, because we developed a society where the tool has become the goal within itself. So money is a tool, right?
Yeah.
So way back, you had tomatoes, I had sheep, you give me kilos of tomatoes for my sheep.
Yeah.
But then you became vegetarian, you don't need my sheep, but I want your tomatoes. So we developed a currency.
Yeah.
So you can give me tomatoes and I can give you something else instead of sheep, because you don't want sheep.
Sort of bartering.
Exactly. Exactly. But all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but slowly, we're at a point where the goal of some of our kids, is to accumulate currency.
Because that defines you.
Because then, with being a millionaire, you get the power. But then, what are we teaching these people about that power? What do you do with this power?
Mm-hmm.
And when we ask them, why do you want to be a millionaire? The next answer would be to have a house with a pool and cars. So again, more accumulation.
Yes.
So it's not so that I can enjoy time with my family. It's not I want to accumulate so much wealth that I can spend more time with my family, or I can give my kids a better life.
Mm-hmm.
No. I want to accumulate wealth for the sake of wealth itself.
Mm-hmm.
So people look at me and say, he has a house with a pool and cars, which is worrying.
The thought is worrying. I think what worries me the most is if the person doesn't manage to become a millionaire, how would they feel about that? Would they feel that they are a failure because they didn't become a millionaire? Because you can reach happiness even if you don't have a lot of wealth.
Mm-hmm.
You can still be happy in life.
Of course.
So, but it's the attribute and the value that we give to the goal if we don't reach it. Because you have to ask yourself, what happens if you don't reach that goal?
Yes.
I think that bears the question, how would you feel?
And I would be arrogant enough to say that if your goal is to become a millionaire, there's a massive chance you will never become a millionaire.
Yes.
Because if what you're doing you don't care about, you're just doing it for the sake of earning money, there's no soul in what you're doing, there's no passion in what you're doing, so you're not going to be rewarded for it, for sure. And I also think that you're not ready for that kind of wealth because of your mindset.
Yeah.
But if you focus on what's important, I want to help people, I want to do good care, I want to make people live longer, then yes, if you're passionate about what you're doing, your ikigai,
Yes.
your meaning, your purpose, then you can get paid for it, for sure. And people will see your passion and they want to employ you, they want to engage you to help them in whatever you're offering, you know. And then yes, there is a bigger chance of you making more wealth. And the irony is that then you're already happy doing what you do,
Yes.
so you don't even care about the wealth you're accumulating.
It's ironic, right?
Yeah.
But it's very true. I mean, it's the person you become throughout the process. So if you love what you do, it's the law of attraction to some extent as well. Because if you love what you do, automatically it will attract more people towards that path, and you'd become a sort of a leader in that area. If you're an expert in hairdressing, you mentioned hairdressing, you'd become a leader in that, and people will tend to follow because you're very passionate about what you're doing. So, for example, football players are very wealthy, but as soon as their career as a footballer terminates, once they reach a certain age, they have to learn how to budget. They need to learn how to live.
Yes.
And most of them, they lose their wealth because they don't know how to budget. They know how to manage that huge responsibility.
Yes.
And if you're given $1 million or €1 million, and you don't know how to manage that, and you don't know how to invest it because you didn't develop that maturity to be able to handle that sort of power.
Because you don't deserve it.
Yeah, you'll still waste it.
Yes.
Because if you have the €1 million and you buy the villa, you have the cars, those are finite.
Yeah.
The house needs wear and tear.
Yes.
The house needs maintenance. There's wear and tear. The cars, it's what we call in Maltese, still just the ice. It melts. The value goes away. So ultimately, you invested in nothing besides property.
Yes.
But again, with great power comes responsibility, and you need to be mature enough to handle that kind of power.